Yeah, as you all know, today is Women's Day. So it's a day that is, I greet you. It's a day that is set aside for women to recognize women, to give women the accolade they deserve. I know you say, it's because I'm a woman, yeah, but yeah, we women we are doing much. And yeah, we need to encourage ourselves, you know, empower ourselves, give ourselves accolade. Good evening. When nobody give you praise, you praise yourself. If nobody told you that, yeah, your opinion is valid, know that your opinion is valid. One of the things that hamper growth in Africa is still the place of women in African societies. African societies, they believe that women supposed to be, down, even though it's not like that in the beginning. In the forefathers of African people, they didn't really have that. Yes, they had gender roles, but the role of women was not to be relegated to the back, not to have a say. Women were leaders in a traditional African society. But today, people don't recognize that. People feel like women needs to be pushed back. Unlike in European or Arabic societies where women were really pushed back, that women really had to come and fight for their right. African women didn't have that problem. By the time European and Arab people came to Africa, African women were having leadership positions. African women were leading. If you look at West Africa or as a whole, even the inheritance, in many societies of West Africa, what is called Sub-Saharan Africa, many parts of Sub-Saharan Africa, inheritance is running through the women, like in Ghana, in Code, like just if you look at the map from Nigeria, like be going like this, every one of them land inheritance is through women. Women were not relegated. So many people that like to go back to their roots, I wish you can look into that. What was the place of women in traditional African societies? So that we can even know why waiting with they even they fight. Because today we have a situation like women have accepted that they are like property to be owned. But it was not like that before. It was not like that. Even in the past, women didn't assume the name of their husband. The women retained their identity. Assuming the name of the husband, changing the name of the husband came with European and Arab identity. Because then, the women had to belong to the men. Women in traditional African society, they had a lot of autonomy. And this is what many people don't know. A lot of people say, oh, like, for example, if you come to traditional Igbo societies, you will see women that are priestess. There are priestess that are holding the traditional stools for prayer, for worship. There are women that were taking those roles. So women that were relegated to the back, they didn't have that role. The same thing in Yoruba land, the same thing in the north. For example, we write the history of Queen Amina of Zazu. It's the same thing, that they were leaders. They led even their people to war. Like when you read the history of Zamfara, they in their history, they still have women who were leaders in that place. And during their reign, who were queens who reigned, and there was peace and prosperity during their reign. So why am I saying this? Recently, I see a lot of fighting between the genders. Oh, you are a woman, you are a man. Let's know that there's a place for a man, there's a place for a woman. And together, the society need each other. We need men, we need women, right? So when the woman is pregnant and having babies, she cannot fend for herself in that place. She need the man. The man has the role that he's playing. You understand? But the role you are playing is not supposed to push down the woman, so that to the point that the woman will not be looking for right up and down, or to say, oh, you cannot take authority from women, you cannot take authority from this. that women cannot do this, women cannot do that. You see, all those things are not core traditional African, you know, system. So if you are somebody that have that kind of mindset, maybe you should look into your traditional African, real African before European colonization. How was it? What was the place of African women? You know, even as at that time, when women pass on, they are not even buried in their husband, the place they are taken back to their place where they came from to bury them there. It's as much as that. It's like you know, you just went on a journey. It's like it's not like you were sold and you are lost, you know. And of course, the culture and tradition varies depending on the society, depending on the villages, you know, the community. But by and by, the real African woman is not supposed to be a liability. Today, we see African women, they are liability. They are looking for her to be a liability. Somebody will sit down, you will not have anything you are doing. You as a man, you will say you don't want your woman to do anything. Like you will carry a whole human being wey get two leg and two hand that it should stay in one place, should not be doing anything. You will not be feeding her. Like it's not done. It's not done. The only time it's exempted for a woman to be taken care of is when she's pregnant and when she's nursing a baby. Apart from that two scenarios, a woman is equally capable. You should go and work. You should go and put yourself, invest yourself in something. Because of this culture of women depending on men, today we have the young generation of women doing hookup up and down. Think about it. How much are you earning running up and down as a hookup? If you invest yourself in one thing, in one skill, and you are doing it, you will earn your money, you have your respect, you have your regard. Today, they say a lot of women, oh, carry woman abroad, carry woman abroad. Why should anybody carry you abroad as a woman? Are you a cargo? Why should anybody carry you abroad? You have been, the time have changed. Before, women didn't go to school. Women didn't, maybe women were not given that opportunity. Even not all the men, like first sons. They were given opportunity to go and, you know, they are even sponsored by the whole village. But today, everybody have opportunity. You are a woman, you are a man, you are going to school. If you finish secondary, you want to go and learn a trade, you can do so many things. Nobody is blocking you. But then you are sitting down like a cargo. You want someone to carry you abroad. What happened to you? When you are a graduate, the same way the man applies to go to any university abroad, the same way you can apply. The same way the men are investing themselves. The same way the men are becoming doctors, you can become a doctor. The same way the men are becoming anything. Yeah, you are not in a competition. You can do. Remember, life is short. Things change, conditions change. Your husband may be there today doing so well. Do you know if he's going to be there tomorrow? You don't know. So a lot of the suffering that is going on in Africa today is because of the place that women have been placed in. Women are not been given that individual capacity that they have. They are taken away from them. A woman that is married, he's now in a place of subjugation from her family, her mother-in-law. There are people that will be debating, you slap my wife, you don't slap my wife. Why should anybody slap an adult? Why should that even come into conversation? That, oh, you slap my mother. Why should your mother slap another adult? It's as crazy as that, right? I greet you, Ezioku. I greet you. I greet you, Tunde. You're welcome. You know, so women and men, they are right hand and left hand. This one watch this one, this one and watch this one. And as long as they are not in that synchrony, the society will fall apart. Because you cannot carry a full-grown human being that can give birth and say you are not able to do anything. And tomorrow, something happens to you, you are no more. Some people, they don't even leave things in the name of their wife and their children. You see a lot of suffering. There are a lot of men that have money, they have property. Their wife don't know about it. If anything happened to them today, That is it. You will see there was a boy that I saw that he was selling things in the market, I think in Aba, and he was saying, "Oh, from Canada to Aba, you would like it." And what I was looking at that boy's story, they said they used to live in Abuja or somewhere in the north, and the father became late, and they came back to the village, and they can no longer afford to send the boy to school, or is like their quality of life just dropped. Why? Because the woman was not empowered. Because if you empower your woman, the mother of your children, your daughters, if anything happened to you, your quality of life, the quality of life of the people you left behind will not drop. Nobody will see that kind of woman, and they will not be coming to come and take property that did not belong to them. So most of the problem that we are seeing, apart from the government, on individual level, mostly is because the place of women. You will see a woman, she's not working, she doesn't have a job, she's depending on her husband 100%, and then she will not space the children. She will be in a hurry to have children all at the same time. Then if anything happens to the man, the woman is now a widow. She can barely have time to go and do any errand. Another cycle of suffering. But if she understands her place as a human being that has capacity, she's supposed to space the children. Like you have one child today, then you wait like 4 years, you have 3 years, you have another. It's not like you are running away. You space out the children so that you have time for yourself, you have time for your family, you have time. And if anything happens, you will not have a battalion at the same time to care for. So even as much as you say today, you see a lot of people, they are creating problem. Why? The girl children are not educated enough. They will be thinking, oh, you have to have many children. You don't know the one that will help you. Why? Because they have not been taught that it doesn't matter how many children you have. If you have 2, if you have 3 children, if you are able to empower them properly, you are also equally good. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is I congratulate every woman. I want you to know your place. I want you to know that it is okay for you to dream, that your dreams are valid, that your opinion are valid, and you can strive for something and go for it. And you don't have to wait for a man. You don't have to be at the table, under the table, looking for crumbs from a man. The man have 2 hands, you have 2 hands. The man has 1 head, you have 1 hand. Yeah. So the man have the ability to do this and that. You also have ability to do this and that. Like back in the day, they used to say, Oyogologo, if you are tall, can you also be shorter than me? So the man may be taller than you, but he's not going to be shorter than you. There must be a role that you will play that the man will not play, but at the end it will complement each other. I am not a feminist because I don't believe in the genders fighting each other. I see myself more as a humanitarian. I want the both genders to work together to find a middle ground. I don't want anything, just like, we are fighting on the basis of race, white and black, Hausa and Igbo. The same way, if you look at it very closely, it's still the same thing, men and women. These people say gender, that gender, that gender. No, no, no. We are all human. We have our purpose. And if we can work in synchrony, we will build a better society for every one of us because we are interrelated, we are interdependent, right? So even we say no woman, no nation. Can there be a man, a nation without a man? It has to work together. Even as much as a woman wants children, can she have a child without the men? The men have bringing in their own genetic material. It's not possible, right? So that's why we need to have it in our mind, especially like, for example, if you are a father, you are a mother, you have men, you have female. So you want the best for both your male children and both your female children. So you have to work in synchrony so that both of them, or either side of the divide, that they will be good. So we shouldn't be dwelling on this suppression and all this relegation. Let it be something of the past, right? And not even very far away, like into the past, right? Because in the past of our own great grandfathers in Nigeria or in most West African cultures, the women were empowered. The women had their role. They were playing. They had their hall. They had their farm. They had their businesses. The men were not doing their things for them. The women were doing their own things, equally capable, doing their contribution. Everybody know their place, know their role. There was no suppression. There was no, taking what belonged to women, disinheriting women, all these things, right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I want to say about this. Let me not talk too much. Yeah, and another thing I want to talk about is what is going on in Kaduna. The happenings that is going on in Kaduna. Let me share some of the video from so this video is coming from AIT.
We're doing our best. I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional.
Can you guys hear what he's saying? Let me increase the volume a little bit. So it's a similar thing like what happened, I don't know whether, I didn't get to know of it until the next day. And I was surprised that the news was not all over the place. So this is what happened in Kaduna. So you can see the military and law enforcement everywhere. So this place is where it happened. Okay.
What the students have been kidnapped. But what I can say here is that by the grace of God, under my able leadership, we will try as much as possible to ensure that every child returns.
He said that, that they took the children from here, and under his able leadership, that he's going to make sure that the children are here. So, but how can something of this magnitude happen and we are not even hearing about it? Like, we are talking about children that went to school. Like, I don't get it. What is going on? Children. Normally, that's a no-no. And these are primary school, if I understand it correctly. Like small children in Kaduna. Hey, I don't know why. Like, I was surprised when I
by the grace of God, inshallah, we are doing our best. I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional leaders here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God. And we have also sat down with the parents of those children that have been kidnapped. Even we have sent a strong message to the mothers, and we made it clear to them that one of the most important things for the government is to ensure that we protect the lives and properties of our citizens. And we ensure.
Yeah, so he's saying that they are doing all they can, that they have called a meeting, they are talking to the parents and all those kind of talk. But me, I'm really surprised that this is not a trending issue in Nigeria. Like, is it that they are numbed down that they don't even feel it? Like, I don't understand. How can something of this magnitude, we are talking about over 200 small pikin that went to school. Imagine you went to school, you carry your pikin go school, your pikin go school. When time don't reach for them to come back, they come, they tell you story. Say they don't know. And this thing, Nigerian people no carry this matter for head. They are talking about nyash, talking about this, talking about that. They are not even they don't even know, they don't care. Like, I don't understand what is going on. When I'm looking at the news, you'll be hearing other things. Like, I'm very surprised that this is not a major topic. Like, it didn't even get into the news. Can you believe that BBC already carried the news day before yesterday? Like, as if they hide them for corner of the mouth. like, I don't know. Somebody said it's because it's not Erufai that is the governor of Kaduna State. That's why it is not in the news like that. But I'm really hoping that the children will be coming back to their parents. So me, I don't understand this thing.
By the grace of God, every child return home by the grace of God. We are working with the security agencies. Just an hour ago, I discussed with the National Security Advisor. He has assured me they are also working, and I've also spoke with the GOC, One Mechanized Division. They have also assured me they are also trying. Here we are with the Commissioner of Police and the Director SSS, and all of them are working closely with government under my leadership. No child will be left behind. All of them will come.
Amio, so the people are on there, running around. They are not happy, obviously. Yeah, so I just still say, let me, bring it to the notice of you guys, because for some reason or reason best known to them, and I don't know if anybody know, they should let me know. Like someone said, it's because it's not Aerofire. I don't know why this thing is not trending. I don't know the news that is bigger than this right now. Yeah. So today we also have the videos of Wigwe being coming back, returned, and I already shared those videos on reels, but I will share them again here so that we can have them. Yeah. What happened to this man is still unbelievable, kind of. Um, what I've come to understand, that because I saw the news from the US, the US anchor that were doing that news. They said that they were on their way to Super Bowl, and I was like, okay, Super Bowl, because I remember I saw a news. So this is the person I'm talking about. So him and his wife and his first son. First of all, I want to condole with the family that he left behind, and the people he's working with, and the people that their livelihood depends on him, basically, like, because he was a big guy. He was someone very high up there, and unfortunately this thing happened. And one thing that also noticed is that he looks so young, but he has adult children, and I think this is something that people should emulate from him. Like, he was just 57 and he already has a son. His son was 29 years. So if you are a man, I think this is something you can learn from him. And start your family early, because now he's just 57 and he has gone. His children are not teenagers or babies, pupils. Like, they're already adults. And so, like, they're already safe, they're already grown up and independent. So this is something really to look forward to. Like, if you're a young person in your 20s, that should be taking it serious. You don't have to born all the children before you are 30. You can have one child in your late 20s, you can have another one in your 30. Like, not running away, like, take it slowly. But I think it's really important that, because but before if anything happened to you, the children are already, independent to a large extent. It's not going to be a very big problem about their welfare, or if they return to houseboy and hard girl that will be taken around and dealt with mercilessly. So that's one thing. Then another thing I want to also talk about is these our Nigerian big men. When they are big, somehow, like, everything abroad is more interesting. Everything European, everything American is more fascinating for him. Because I remember when I was watching the news about what happened to him, it was just a news anchor. I don't know, in a small news anchor or something. It was talking about them, say they're African billionaire. It didn't really make headlines the way it would have made it was if it was here. It happened. And he made a comment that they were on their way to the Super Bowl. And I was thinking, okay, Because a day before that day, I know that there was the AFCON final, and one lady was doing a video and was saying, "Are you going to watch the Super Bowl or the AFCON?" And a lot of people were even insulting her on that post and was like, Which one can be Super Bowl?" So when I now heard that he was on his way to Super Bowl while the AFCON was going on, just kind of showed us like where their priority is, because like maybe when you get to a certain level, you think that you can only rub minds with Oyibo people that are high there. Again, the way you see them, it obviously is not the way they are seeing you. And I don't know, there must be something about this man because maybe he's so laid back and the way he takes people is not the way they are taking him. For example, the church he attended, he was one of the biggest members in that church. He was the one that was giving them huge amount of money. But this kind of big thing happened to them, him and his wife and his son, the church didn't even see them as a big deal. They couldn't put on their sackcloth and lay low and grieve like a part of their community was taken like that. Instead, they were partying, doing birthday party that they even brought flavor. Not even that they brought Adaehi or all this other Christian Frank Edward them or maybe Messi Chinwo. They went to bring flavor. They were doing agbabola inside church. So, like, I don't know. It's incredible. But be that as it may, this is showing us that you can be high there, you can be low there. At the end of the day, we came with nothing and we will go with nothing. And they flew in private jets, in big first class, and they were brought back just like cargoes. That's how it is going to end for every man. So it's not something like you are going to mock them and say, "Oh, look at them now, vanity upon vanity." No, it's the same end that awaits all men. So the learning and the advice is for the living. As you are alive today, reassess your priorities. What are the things that you make important, that you think it's a do or die affair, that you want to buy yourself, you want to buy other people? You're not going to go with it. You are going to leave it here. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. I remember when I was growing up, when I was in the village back then. Do you know all those old people that were there in that village as at that time that I was a child? They are all gone. And then there are also other ones that were like maybe in their 50s, something like that, 60s at that time, that they were dragging land, they are dragging this if you try do well, you try not do, all of them, they don't go. The ones that are there, they are like just helpless, they don't even know, that kind of a thing. So this life there's nothing in it. Do the one you can do. The things that they put so much value upon, always ask yourself, who put that value, who put that requirement? Do the things that you can do. Don't wait and say, if I can get this, I will be happy. If I can get, look at many people that try jackpot. They think that if they jackpot to UK, they jackpot to that. There is struggle everywhere. Like I posted to you guys here in Germany, they are striking. Workers are striking. Why? Cost of living is not rhyming with the inflation, with the salary. So they are asking for salary increment. They are going on strike. So that struggle is ongoing. Everywhere people are facing their own struggle, right? So you have to reevaluate yourself and say what is important for you. Because at the end of the day, this is how it ends. That is all. That's how it ends. Nothing more. So the videos are on my page. I put them on as reels. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit here. So I didn't know them while they were alive, but I know one of my friends, when we finished back in the day, she got a job in Access Bank, and it was good. I remember that when I went to Abuja at that time, yeah, they had lodge, they had business cars and all those things. Like it was a big deal, right? So you can imagine that life they have even enlarged from back then till now. They are going strong. So you can imagine the wealth, the money, and all those things. Uh, Everything is vanity. Not that you shouldn't strive for your own self, but live in the moment. Be happy in the moment. Don't postpone. Don't think that when you go to here, you'll be happy. Wherever you are, whatever you are able to find, be happy with it. Live with it. Accept it. Acceptance. Accept the things that are within your like the things that you know you cannot influence. You don't have power over them, right? And the ones you can do something about, just do a little bit, and as much as is possible for you, as much as is within the power of your influence. Like in German, they will say, "In Rahmen deiner Möglichkeiten," in within that sphere that you are is possible for you to do something about it. That's where your power lies. Do something. But if it is outside your sphere of influence that you cannot do anything, what can you do? It's beyond you. Like there are people that say, "Oh, they shouldn't have traveled in the same plane," but there are people that travel in the same plane every time. Nothing happened to them. You look at the president of America, the Obama family, they are traveling together every time. Nothing happened to them. If you look at, so time and chance happen to all men. You don't know what one when it is. There is no guarantee. There are people that drive car last one. They are traveling together. Voila. So there are people that say, "Oh, they shouldn't." Uh, yeah, it's a wise strategy to say parents shouldn't stay in the same place. It's a wise strategy. People employ that most times, But there are also people who travel together many times and they arrive at their destinations, right? So, yeah, it's just unfortunate that it happened. And yeah, may his soul and those of his wife and his son rest in peace. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Only God know why it happened. Even at that, you cannot say this person is the worst or that kind of a thing. Because there are people that you can even say, this person, his own wickedness is the evil in him is too much, but that person will still be there, right? So everything is in the hands of the creator. It's not something that we have influence over, right? So it happened like that. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's just to look at the situation, what has happened, and what conclusions can you learn from it? What can you what if influence can you draw from it? I hope personally that all this our Nigerian big man, so to say, all these people that say, oh, they want to I feel like these people they have so much deep poverty in their mind, like they just can't help it without accumulating wealth. And I think it's not just African thing, even. I think it's something to do with capitalism, like people that have, they just have. Like today, I was watching a video. They said Mark Zuckerberg, this man that has Facebook, that he's building, like he bought an area that can actually be like a city, that you can actually build housing, and it will contain maybe thousands of people. He bought that vast area of land, and he said he's just going to develop like 1% of that whole land area. It's like an island, and he's building a fortress, like a bunker, like something wants to happen, something mega, so if anything happens there, they will be safe, that kind of a thing. And like the bunker they are showing it was really massive. And they said it's going to cost almost like $300 million to build that, whatever he's building there, just for him and his wife and his children. So that's it, but the thing is, he has it, so why not? You know, he has it, so he can spend it. But if you don't have, why are you buying yourself and driving yourself crazy? Like whether you build bunker, you don't build bunker. When that God say that your time don't reach, now go you dey so. Nothing can stop it. There are people before Sukabaka became billionaire, all those things that have done all those things. All those doom days, something is happening there. Even like that film 2000 or something like that, or that they depicted something like that, that everybody was running into that shit. It's not today it started. They always build all those kind of things, build mansions, elaborate houses, just to prove, last, 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 you will leave everything. And the children that you even live it for, most of them they don't even have interest in it. They want to travel. They don't want to be stuck in that city or in that place that you have put in all those things. You know, like for example, here in this Germany, I've met a lot of people. You will wonder why would somebody be paying rent of maybe 3,000 euros, that kind of a thing. Why don't you just go and buy a house, pay it off? And they was like, we live in the now. They don't want. They are like if they want to go and buy and do all those mortgage, maybe they will not get to live in this part of the city that they want to. Maybe they have to go to some corner in some suburb, and after all those, maybe their children may not have interest in that, so they have to live in their now and in their prime. When they can travel, they can use the money to do other things, and then when they are tired, they are okay that they can retire in old people's home and live out the rest of their days, like there's no need for the accumulation. But we don't understand that we are not in that place. So those people in government, they're accumulating. And what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? You can't even use it to impart your village. You can't even use it to impart, yeah, like it's incredible, no? Well, I don't know this man. I don't know his story. I don't know who he is to his community. But whatever it is, I feel like this unfortunate incident, we can really learn something from it, especially the fact that we came from nothing and we are going to go back with nothing. So whatever we have it today. Tomorrow is not promised. Yesterday is gone. Like that song say, yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. Tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, lead me to do every day, one day at a time. So one day at a time, not saying that you shouldn't, plan, prognose, but you don't have to, like this thing that lead us to go and steal. You don't need to own a building in every city in Nigeria, for example, right? You don't have a house in the village, have in Abuja, have in Lagos, have in Los Angeles, like all this kind of accumulation. You don't need it. If worst case scenario, if you go to America, you stay in a hotel. If you go to Abuja, you stay in a hotel. Right? That's the worst case scenario. So you don't need all this mindless accumulation. The children that are growing up, they're going to have their own life. And at the most, the children will fight over the properties. That's it. You create enmity, even not love. The children will become enemies fighting over the things you left behind. Right? Good evening. Thank you. Give us this day our daily bread. We don't need more than that. It is what it is. The things that will give you joy today, take it, enjoy it. Greetings. Don't accumulate, don't run around, don't, like we have seen many of our brothers who do and undo to go and build a house in the village, and on their way to, like the one Igele showed the last time, he was just going to Abuja to go and open the house. He didn't even get to live in it. So if he was postponing all his wealth, all his happiness, I'm gonna be happy when you how do you know you are gonna be there when you don't know that? There are many people that gave what they are all, beat around the bush, did all things to build that house in that village. Go there today, even the people they left behind, they can't even maintain that house. They will be in that beautiful house, they will be hungry, they can't feed. It's that bad. you know. So we don't need all this. It's a mindset that was imposed on us so that we will strive to want, to want, to want. We don't need it. If they set that kind of standard for us, we are in a place to set our own standard for ourselves, something that will be good for us. Who says you have to build 10 decking? Who said so? Who said so? Who said you have to build a mansion that nobody will live inside? Who set that standard? Who? Huh? Meanwhile, our phobias, they built bungalows, they it was able to house everybody, and life goes on. Today they are no more. The houses you are building today that you are celebrating, they are very modern in your eyes. They are not going to be modern in 20 years' time. Look, those of you that are adults in the year 2020, yeah, in the year 2000, in the year 2000, it's been 24 years today. Look at the change that has happened. Like from year 2000, they were saying, oh, the world is going to come to an end. I remember that time we know year, oh, the world is going to come by the year 2000. Water for all by the year 2000, as if year 2000 will not come. This is by the year 2000. In fact, as that 2000 was approaching, there was trepidation, like, it's like that 2000, people go, like nobody will extend it. But here we are, 24 years later. Look at all the changes that has happened. The people that built upstairs, and if you go to those streets, all those houses that were the finest in those streets, be it in Lagos, be it in Enugu, be it in Abuja, they cannot be the same again. They cannot be. And there is no culture of maintenance or keeping things and even securing it, maybe use it as a museum. No, everything will just be allowed to abandoned as or resold, like it will not even be in your name, it will not longer be your legacy, it will not be in your posterity, really, because we don't have that culture. There are people that, for example, here in Europe, you can see houses that are like 800 years, 1000 years, and it will be like a relic of that era. So when you are looking at that house, it's like you have a sense of what life was in the year 18 something, but we don't have that culture, right? We are in a table mind ideology, like today, now, what is in it for me today? What can I eat today? You want to sell that house today. You want to go and buy motor today. You don't want to preserve or keep anything. So what is the point, right? So if we can have this mindset and learn from this man, it's unfortunate what has happened to him and his family, but we can learn. He's just built a massive house. He just built a massive, he didn't even get to live in it. So I hope he was able to enjoy the life he had. I hope he was not waiting to say maybe when that time come, he will enjoy, right? Because you don't know. Even me, everybody, we don't know. We don't know. Charlie boy, 1990, that fool go boku boku. No, I don't remember it. I don't remember. Good evening, Danny. Good evening, Olisemeka. I greet you. I don't remember. So what are we dragging to? Like when I was in the village, like I saw many cases when a man passes on, and then the brothers will come, or the whole village will come. They will say it's the woman that kpai the man, like it was, this thing was going on and on. And I'm like wondering, like, how can this, so it was later that I realized that it was all about disinheriting that woman, not letting her have access to her husband's house, the things that her husband has produced, like the land her husband used to farm on, like maybe the family house or the house or the room where the husband was staying. So they just want to kick her out and her children, like, that kind of a thing. And you see that in most of the time, the women will just go with the children and nobody will ask where are they, what happened to them. So, and then maybe some years later, maybe some 20 years later, you now hear that, oh, some people, some of those children, they are doing well, they are in so place, and yeah, this is something that we need to address, right? Um, But at the end of the day, those people that were scheming and kicked that woman and her children, by the time those children have grown up, have become somebody, they are no more. They are even in worst, wretched place. So that those things that they took from that woman, from those children by force, it didn't bring them any peace. It didn't enlarge their coast, so to say. They are still where they are, even worse off. Then was it worth it? Yeah. So I feel like I wish that we can learn not to be this greedy and very harsh and mean to ourselves, to understand that we are all dust. We came with nothing and we are not going with anything. And the only thing that people will remember at the end of the day is the impact you made in their life, the people you met that can bear witness of your life, right? Those are people that will remember you, like your children, like your wife, maybe your parents, maybe your brothers and your sisters, maybe people in your street, if you are a celebrity, if somebody that is odogu, what you did that connected them, that touched them, that elevated them, that changed their community. I wish we can think in this line, like what are we doing to impact our community? You know, coming to show money, throw money in the air to show that you have arrived. How is it helping the people? You understand? It's like, riling them and say, are you, they want to go and do anything to be in that position. That's not upliftment. I wish that we can really take something from this man, that we are just like pencil in the hands of the creator. We don't know when it's going to be our time. But while we have today, tomorrow is not promised. We should do something with today. And one of the things that baffle me when I look at these fake Nigerian pastors, it baffles me because, like, you are a pastor, you have come into this followership of millions of people basically listening to you and following you, and all you can think about is how to scam them, to get some extra money, to build another building, and like accumulating wealth, when you know that even the Bible that you are carrying has told you that you are nothing. Nobody knows where you are going from here. And when you are gone, it's only what you did that they will use to remember you. And even then, for how long? Eventually, your work will fade away. You will fade away. It's only the people you impacted that will carry and bear witness to your life and bear testimony of how you have impacted their life. And you will be like a role model to be talked about. And they will put your name in their communities and lift you high. And your memory of the deeds you did will be an inspiration. That's what we should be striving for. Not mindless accumulation. You build a house, it will be there fresh, fine, and then what? You buy Rolls Royce, like all our Nigerian celebrities. Every day they are telling us the big car they bought. In the midst of abject poverty, every day you are telling us the car you bought, how much it's worth. And so what? And so what? Good on you. Enjoy it for yourself, right? If it gives you peace, it gives you happiness, and you can afford it, go on then. But why do you need to tell us and show us the pictures and show us the videos and dance with it? Like, how does it help us? How does it change the situation of anybody looking at you, right? So African people, we really have to work on our mind. And it's the same thing I see all over the African communities, even in the USA, even in London. You will see African children, it's like somebody gave them an assignment to be on the street doing rubbish. They'll enter a shop like this, they'll go and be breaking, be stealing. Look at what is going on in America. They will just enter that shop, be taking things, nobody will even touch them. They'll just take anything they want to take, also still, like, you understand why? Because they have set their mind that if you don't have this thing, if you don't look this certain way, you don't have value. We are not supposed to even fall into that category, because we know that they have set this standard. And even though they set that standard, they still deprive you of access to get to all those things, right? Because for most of the time, because of their discrimination, you not get job, you not get the right qualification, you will not it will not be possible for you to get into the position that will give you access to have the funds to afford that lifestyle, to have that thing. But instead of us to pull back, reevaluate ourselves, and set another standard for ourselves, we are running kitty kata kata to go and meet up the standard that we don't know who sets. To live up to expectation that we don't know who set. Like like honestly, there is billion-dollar industry based on the ignorance of our people. We are so ignorant. Like million-dollar industry based on our ignorance. You see people that are doing like billionaires on the basis of ignorance of our people. You know, I wish that we can become rich in our mind. I wish that we can learn satisfaction. I wish that we can learn not to be moved. Yeah, if you have something good on you, I wish you can have that kind of mind. You will see everything will be okay. Our society will not be this rough and criminally infested society. If we can have that kind of mind, if you like ride roll or break your head with it, that's your business, right? If I walk, back in the day, they say, hey, whether you take leg, they go, you take a bicycle, they go. Eventually, we'll get to our destination. So what's the big deal? If you have your own means and it's bicycle, good on you. Ride on. Yeah, someone is going to use an aeroplane to get there. Somebody will, I'm just using this as an illustration, but you get what I'm saying, right? I hope we can have a lot of people make a lot of fools about, oh, rich, you're not rich, you are rich, and all those things. What is important is that having the grit to work for your life, to make provision for yourself, and not to be a burden on somebody else. To live within your means actually to actually live without being a burden to somebody, not looking for somebody to give you urgent 2K. That you are, even if it is 1,000 you are able to get, and you are able to live without your 1,000 and your life is okay. You don't have to be rich. All this rich, 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 rich. You don't need it. You don't need it. You just need to have a plan for yourself, like what you can eat to your standard. Not everybody have to go to 5-star hotel. If you can eat to the street woman cooking on your street and you are satisfied, it's okay. It's very, very okay. The main thing, you are not hungry, right? And if you can go and afford the hospital that is in your corner, right, and they can give you the treatment that you need, it's okay. So those are the things you can be striving for, to make your life okay at any level you find yourself. You're not in here to please anybody or to impress anybody or to pass. Let everybody give you a accolade because of your dressing or because of the brand that you are wearing. You don't have to. Who made those brands? Huh? Who made them? Who made it? Is somebody living off your ignorance? You know, And why do you give somebody value only when they have certain brand on, right? So if you value your fellow human being and you see him as a human being, you are going to respect him regardless of what he's wearing, how he's you understand, like the value you are going to give somebody in as a human being should not diminish because of how much they have. And we see it in a lot of societies that are a little bit at par. Like, like if you come to a society like Germany now, they're not going to respect you extra because you have extra dollars. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? So if you have it good on you, if you can afford it expensive, good on you. A lot of people, they will just wait when there is sales, they will go to the shop and buy whatever they are able to buy, because sometimes they will sell and then they will have a period that they will have sales. So there's always a room to accommodate everybody, and at the end of the day, you have to respect everybody and give everybody a chance, for their humanity. And that's a society that is evolved, right? So we need to come out of all this kitty kata that we are running and fighting and being mean to ourselves. It's ending here, everything, eh? Yeah, contentment. Really, most of the problem Nigerian people have is lack of contentment. We're always in a competition with something, with somebody, with invisible people, with some enemies. Like we're just in competition, um at the end of the day, everybody can never be the same. All fingers can never be the same. You can never have children that all the children will be the same. It's not possible. Everybody have their ability. There are people that they are gifted in learning, they can become medical doctors, engineers, but there are also other people who are not that gifted in those field, but they also have their own specialties. They can be good hairdresser, they can be good baker, they can be good chef, they can be excellent workmanship, people who build, carpenters, because we need everything. For a functioning society, you need everything. You need a carpenter when you have to build your house. When you want to build where you will live, you need masons, you need people that are builders. You cannot be a doctor and be a builder at the same time. You cannot be a lawyer and be a mechanic at the same time, right? So there's a place for everybody, and the society will be moving. But when you are always in competition and comparing, oh, my son is this, oh, your son did not get there, like how? You understand? So that kind of a thing, let there be a place. There are people that are driven. Let them go ahead. We need them to be driven, right? There are people that will be odogu. Not everybody will be a leader in a community. There are people that will lead and there are people that will follow. It is like that. It's in its nature. Exactly. Somebody will just go and hit money. You don't know how he got the money. You cannot ask. There's no system to ask, to check, and everybody's worshiping them because and giving them extra respect. Why? Because of where the mind is, you know. Yeah, I mean, you we can go on and on talking about it, but that's the main issue we are having. Above all, I am hoping and praying for the return of those children. I'm really hoping and praying that God will give the parents the fortitude to hope, to wait. And I pray that it will not end in tears, that they will come back to them healthy and held. I don't know. Like what is going on is unprintable. There's no words. There's no words for it. Like there's no absolutely no words. I'm not even hearing anybody saying anything. I didn't hear the politicians coming out other than this one that from Kaduna where it happened, of course, but I didn't see anybody making a fuss about it. It's unfortunate that people have been numbed because of all the things that is happening all this time, you know. Yeah. So my people, yeah, that's how far I can go for this evening. I hope that you have a good night rest. Yeah. I'll see you guys. Bye for now.